Piotr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. It is the featured bout of the night this Saturday at the stacked UFC 280 Abu Dhabi event, and I cannot wait to see it. Sean O'Malley's getting the biggest test of his entire career. This is Piotr Yan, former champion. He had, a tremendous run for a while and looked like he might be on his way to all-time great bantamweight status, and he definitely still has the possibility of turning it around. For Piotr Yan, last one was against Aljo, lost a close decision. Some people dispute that decision. For O'Malley, last one was the Pedro Munoz fight. This is a huge step up in competition for Sean O'Malley. I agree. This is not like anyone he's ever faced before. If you run through the past 5 of Sean O'Malley, the loss to Chito Vera, that's 2 years ago now. It's been a while. Low kick, pretty much shut the leg off, and then he got ground and pound TKO'd. It was a dominant win for Marlon Vera. Sean O'Malley has never really accepted that loss, still, claims that undefeated status, whether jokingly or not. I definitely feel as though he thinks that he would beat Marlon Vera in a rematch, and that was, a bit of a one-off fluke. I'm not saying that it was. I believe that was a clean win for Marlon Chito Vera. Sean O'Malley's legs are something that's a bit of a concern in matchups against pretty much any of these top guys. If Yan is chopping heavy at the legs, we could be in for some trouble with Sean O'Malley. Now, he's shown a little bit of improved leg kick defense as of recent. But let's keep on moving up. It's a loss to Vera. He comes back with a KO win over Thomas Almeida. Sean O'Malley definitely has clean power. He knocks out a guy like Thomas Almeida. He has to knock out a guy like Thomas Almeida, who's not super high level in the bantamweight division. O'Malley very rangy, good power, gets a dominant KO there. He fights Chris Moutinho. He was dominating that fight. He moved extremely well. As bad as Moutinho looked after that fight against Guido Canetti, he gave the Rocky performance, nearly going the distance with Sean O'Malley. Dean stops it. Herb Dean, the referee, stops it super late in the 3rd round with more of a standing TKO. Sean O'Malley was totally outclassing Moutinho. I don't think Sean O'Malley maybe has the best one-touch KO power, at least in that matchup against certain styles, right? But what he does have is great accuracy and incredible movement, and he dominated Moutinho there. Now, the next fight against Raulian Paiva, he did look to have more of that power. Clean knockout win there, dropped Paiva a couple times, looked way better than him, but it's Raulian Paiva. He's not top class in the bantamweight division. Yes, Sean O'Malley's past 3 wins, if you really talk about them as legit or not, they're not legit. They're not great wins. They're wins against guys that are unranked, wins against guys that I don't see having any real title hopes in the future. You look at Paiva, he's already taken, a good amount of L's as of recent. I believe Paiva was a great stepping stone fight. He has that win over Kyler Phillips, very controversial, and then Sean O'Malley blasts him in the 1st round. But if you look at Raulian Paiva, even in that Kyler Phillips controversial win, he was beaten badly in that 1st round, dropped multiple times. Sean O'Malley then gets the test of tests. They throw him Pedro Munoz, and he ends up no contest, eye poke. I will say he touched up Munoz a bit. I think he's shown improved leg kick defense. It's a positive thing to take away. Is it a signature win? No, there's no signature win really for Sean O'Malley. On the opposite side, Piotr Yan is our former champion. Destroys Uriah Faber. I remember that fight. Oh my gosh. Destroyed Uriah Faber. Head kick done. 3rd round. Clean win for Piotr Yan. He was dominating that whole fight. He beats Jose Aldo. That was an incredible feat. Beating Aldo is a legacy win. He stopped him as well, which is awesome. Had a little bit of trouble with Aldo early, but then picked him apart later. He then goes to defend his belt and loses by DQ to Aljamain Sterling in a fight that he was really starting to dominate and looked incredible there. You then look at the next one. He fights Corey Sandhagen, wins by a very close decision. Very, very, very close decision. And then as of recent, he fought Aljamain Sterling and lost a split decision 5 months ago, and he got backpacked. That was really the reason he lost that fight, is getting backpacked there. He did a little bit more offensive damage, but he was getting controlled on the ground for continuous periods of time in multiple rounds. He now fights Sean O'Malley. Let's talk about something. What does Piotr Yan have an issue of. He starts slow. He's a slow starter. Now, if it's a 5-round fight, I'll tell you guys straight out the gate, I'm probably going Petr Yan. But in a 3-round fight, slow starting Petr Yan, I think Sean O'Malley can definitely steal the first. If the second and third can be close, I think he can edge it on a decision. The lines here are very wide, favoring the side of Petr Yan. Sean O'Malley's a big underdog. He has the length advantage. He also has, I think, a little bit of the movement advantage as far as his stand-up game goes. He has a lot more of a rangy flow style, whereas Petr Yan is more of a tight boxing style. He's going to need to close distance on O'Malley. And as he's closing distance, O'Malley's going to be stinging him with shots. He's got very good straights, very good feints. Both guys comfortable out of both stances. I think this is an incredible stylistic matchup. And it's a true challenge for Sean O'Malley. Maybe one that he's not ready for. But people will say I'm crazy. I'm going to pick Sean O'Malley to win a very close decision, maybe even a split decision over Petr Yan. I definitely see this fight going the full 3. I do believe O'Malley is a lot more durable than we give him credit for. I think the leg kick defense has improved. Petr Yan has decent low kicks, but I wouldn't call them a signature technique in his arsenal. I do think Yan might look to wrestle a bit here. I think he'll be surprised by the resistance he faces with Sean O'Malley. The range advantage of O'Malley is a huge thing that I like. The fact that he starts faster is a big attribute for this one. Picking Sean O'Malley also in a 3-round fight, whereas Yan has not been scheduled for a 3-round fight. 2 years, 9 months. It was the Uriah Faber fight. This is the first 3-round fight in nearly 3 years for Yan. There is a different pace you have to fight at in a 3-round fight. Yan needs to come out fast and hard. I'm going to bank on Sugar Show upset, and the line is incredible too. Let's look at the odds. Sean O'Malley is a massive underdog, around plus 225. And then on the opposite side, Petr Yan is the minus 300 favorite. He shouldn't be a 3-1 favorite. This should be 2-1. I don't want to tell you guys I'm just picking it because odds, though. I actually believe Sean O'Malley has a legit chance to win. Am I saying this is a lock of the week? Absolutely not. How I'm viewing this is a 50-50 fight where the line is wide towards Yan. I like the O'Malley side, man. I like the range, the height difference, not as significant as it's set on paper. We don't know. Sean O'Malley might really be shorter than 5'11". Petr Yan, that tight boxing style, when I'm watching him fight and I'm thinking Sean O'Malley from range has that advantage. If he can move on Yan, keep him away, outpoint him, I don't think that Petr Yan's getting knocked out. I think that more likely Petr Yan could stop a Sean O'Malley with accumulation of strikes towards the 3rd round. But I'm going to say Sean O'Malley outpoints him for 3 rounds, wins a decision, maybe a split decision. As I said, I like 29-28 here. I think that Petr Yan has a good chance to take the 3rd round, but I could see O'Malley winning the 1st, toss up 2nd, and then Yan wins the 3rd, and it goes to Sean O'Malley, split decision. The over 2.5 is a good play here. It's minus 200 for that. As we continue to look at the rest of the prop options, I mean, if you went O'Malley to win via decision, that is a very wide line, plus 425, and that to me is his most likely method of victory. If you like Yan to win by KO TKO, it's plus 285. I think Sugar Show pulling this one off by a huge upset is possible. I'm going Sean O'Malley to shock everyone. Now, I'm not telling you guys to bet crazy heavy on it. It's a very good line. It's not my most confident pick of the week, I'll tell you straight. But I do think it's worth maybe a light dog attack. Keep it more on the mild to medium side. But Sean O'Malley, he's an oversized underdog. This fight should be more around the plus 150 range with O'Malley as an underdog, as opposed to him nearing plus 250. And at some places, you will find him that large. If you see Sean O'Malley above plus 220, I think it's a line that you have to attack. I like the fight goes distance, too, if you're looking for the safer side of things. And I think Sean O'Malley winning a decision is possible here. Ultimately, it's a very interesting matchup. And I will give you one opposing side play. If you're like, listen, I'm not with you at all. I like Petr Yan to win, which I understand. People will be on Yan to win. If you went Yan to wins in round 3 or decision, it's minus 130. It brings that line a lot down for him. And I do think if he is to win, Yan would probably get a 3rd round TKO or a decision. So if you're looking to play that Yan side, I'll list off the Yan lines. But I'm riding with Sugar Show to pass his biggest test. And if he does do it, it's confirmed the winner of this fight is fighting the winner of TJ Dillashaw and Aljamain Sterling. So incredible matchups on the horizon. Sean O'Malley, let's see if he's getting moved up too fast. Number 12 guy in the world versus the number 1 contender. This is because the Sean O'Malley effect is real. I mean, the dude has become a huge superstar in mixed martial arts. He's built a massive social media following too. Talk about a fighter capitalizing on his platform. Sean O'Malley is that guy, and I suggest the vast majority of fighters should do the same thing because he's really setting himself up to not only make money in the UFC, but make money outside of the octagon and, could be setting up generations of O'Malley's with wealth. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Let me know in the comments what you think of the pick. Are you riding with Sean O'Malley for the upset, or do you think I'm crazy and Petr Yan's going to whoop that ass? Much love, my people. I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone.